I have a 401k question for you. I currently work as an associate dentist in a group practice with plans of partnering. At the moment, I have access to the company 401k, but have been told that once I partner, I will no longer be able to contribute. I understand that when companies decide to use a 401k, they have to offer it to everyone employed. And so I was wondering about the idea of opening a solo 401k once I partner if everyone else has access to the 401k the company current provides. Is that doable? I know that a lot of dental practices instead will open a simple IRA, but if I could do a solo 401k, I think that would be a whole lot better. What are your thoughts?
Wow, he's about to get himself into a lot of trouble. That's my thought. Here's the deal. When you have a practice that you're the owner of, that you're an employee of, that you're a partner in, this is one business entity. And that one business entity can have one retirement plan, essentially. You cannot, as an owner, offer one 401k to your employees and go off and open your own 401k for yourself. Likewise, you cannot have a 401k that only benefits you. That's the whole point of all these testing rules for 401ks. They're to keep owners from getting all the benefits, or the highly compensated employees from getting all the benefits, and hosing the low paid employees, the non highly compensated employees. That's why 401ks and other retirement plans have all these specific testing rules. But trust me when I say you cannot get around these. If you do, the penalties are very large. It is not worth doing. You cannot go open a solo 401k when you make partner. Your option is to offer the same plan to yourself as you do to the employees. Now, that plan might be a 401k. It might be a simple IRA. It might be a SEP IRA. Whatever it is, though, you will not be able to do something different than what you were doing for them. And in a lot of ways, you won't be able to get nearly the benefit that you're offering to them unless you offer them significantly awesome benefits. That's the bottom line for how a company 401k works.
Yeah, I felt like I didn't really understand the situation. I had more questions than I had answers. I don't understand what reason he was given for not being given access to the 401k once he makes partner. So that's my first question is, why can't he contribute to the 401k? What are the other partners doing? How are they all saving? Because access to a retirement account is a huge benefit. And so he needs to dig into that a little bit more, I think. It didn't really make sense to me. It occurred to me that maybe the person running the plan just doesn't understand how this works. I have run into office managers and plan managers and benefits folks who just didn't understand. I had a practice, someone I worked for once who had founded the practice and set up the benefits. And he said, "Oh, we don't have an IRA. We have a simple." And I said, "Well, actually, a simple is a form of IRA." And the point is that it may be the people who are administering your plan just don't really get how this works. So I can't think of any valid reason why you wouldn't be able to access this 401k after you make partner. And that if you can't, or if there's some whatever the glitch is, you should be able to negotiate around this, because this is a big deal. I don't think I'd take partnership if it meant that I couldn't have any access at all.
Well, I agree. Somebody's confused because
Yeah.
it's unlikely that this doc would not be able to contribute something to the plan. It may not be able to get, $66,000 in there, maybe not even able to get $22,500 in there because of the testing. And that comes down to the fact that the other employees are not putting any money in, right? If nobody's saving anything other than the match they get, maybe they're not even putting anything in there and getting the match. That absolutely can limit how much the partners and the highly compensated employees can put in. But it's unlikely that they wouldn't be able to put anything in. So I think somebody is confused. You need to go back and talk to the plan administrator and the TPA and all that and figure out, well, how much can I really put in? The other solution you can do here is by getting the other employees to actually contribute to the plan. When everybody's using this plan, when everybody's maxing it out, it gives the highly compensated employees the option to put more into the plan without failing the testing. And so this was a big thing for us at WCI when we put our 401k in, right? We were like, well, how much do people want to save? And it turns out some people would rather have big old 401k contributions and relatively small salaries. And in a small practice, you can make those adjustments so that you can do that. The other thing to keep in mind, and people fear this all the time, right? They're like, oh, well, I don't want to, put too much in the 401k because then I'll be penalized when it fails the testing rules. What they don't understand is what the penalty is. The penalty is you have to put money into the accounts of your non-highly compensated employees. That's it. You don't pay the IRS anything. Nobody comes after you. You're not getting audited. You have to make an additional contribution into your employees' retirement accounts. That's the penalty. And I understand that some people don't want to do that because their employees don't value the 401k or whatever. But that was not a bad thing to me. I look at that and I go, that sounds like the best penalty in the world, right? I get to pay people more. I get to help them save for retirement. That's not a bad penalty to me. But I can understand if you're a dentist and it's just you putting money into a 401k and you got 12 employees or something, and and you're going to end up putting more in as their matching dollars than you're even going to be able to save yourself in the 401k. I can understand why you might want to minimize the cost of that 401k. But I think a big part of this is lack of education for the employees on the value of their retirement account benefits that you're providing. And I think if you really educate well, those penalties aren't nearly as large, and you're able to put more into your 401k yourself.
Yeah, so maybe you need to do a little educating of both your plan manager and some of the employees, and get everyone on the same page so you can all be contributing to your 401k.
And the truth is, if you study your practice, sometimes the right answer is not a 401k. Sometimes it's a simple IRA. And to make things more confusing, there's not only something called the simple IRA, but there's something called the simple 401k, which is very similar. Or a SEP IRA, or no plan at all. Sometimes it just makes sense to not have a plan and do your retirement savings in a taxable account.
The hosts of The White Coat Investor are not licensed accountants, attorneys, or financial advisors. This podcast is for your entertainment and information only. It should not be considered professional or personalized financial advice. You should consult the appropriate professional for specific advice relating to your situation.